After playing one of the best games of 2023 and, dare I say, one of the best RGG games to date, I was left with a very strong impression of many things. A huge one being, of course, the villain. So let me just cut to the chase here and address the big elephant, or in this case, the big lion in the room. Where would I rank Kosei Shishido? One thing's for certain, he does belong somewhere in the top 5. 5 would be too low for him. 4 feels right, but I feel he could go higher. 3 feels right? Sorry, Mine, you're low-key my favorite, but okay, 2, I don't know, I mean he was really fucking awesome. Do I really want to do this to our boy Nishiki, a man so iconic to the RGG fandom and so integral to the emotional journey of the— You know what, fuck it, this is my list
and I can do whatever the fuck I want.
That's right, motherfuckers. I am ranking Kosei motherfucking Shishido. That's the number 2 greatest RGG villain of all time. He is the everything villain done right. RGG Studios looked at Aizawa and thought, man, why did we go so wrong? And decided to right every single goddamn wrong. They looked at all the villains in each mainline game and thought, man, what did we do right? And proceeded to do it again. 0, the strength of Awano, the tenacity of Kuze, the leadership of Shibusawa. 1, the ruthless ambition of Nishiki. 2, the boldness and brashness of Ryuji. 3, the physical prowess of Mine. 4, okay, let's be real, no one gives a shit about 4's villains. 5, 5's villains sucked, but the boss fight was super cool and they somehow made it better in Gaiden. 6, the depravity and desperation of Owami, but also the clashing of generational ideologies of the Yakuza. Only this time it's the young blood Shishido trying to preserve the Yakuza, whereas old-ass Joryu wants to end it for good. There's also another thing I want to talk about for a bit. He may be a composite villain, but he's still very much his own character. Ever since he was a kid, life was a bitter struggle, with every moment a fight for survival. I mean, for Christ's sake, he was sold off into slavery by his parents, only for him to fight in death matches. He's endured a lot of fucked up shit, especially under Nishitani III. In many ways, he reminds me of Guts from Berserk. How he was always alone fighting for his life, even at an early age. How hostile the people who raised him were. How he had to claw and scratch his way just to survive. How he had something good for a while and decided to cast all that aside for something that he thought was better for him. I'd go as far as to say he's essentially what Guts would be if Guts was born in the Yakuza-verse, but that's a conversation for another day. Anyways, fast forward to Gaiden. To him, his actions are simply just that, for the sake of survival. And that's the theme here that sets him apart from all the other villains. We see how he's enjoyed the luxuries the higher Yakuza life can offer after having grinded so much for it. Hell, we even partied with the guy. We see that he's way too accustomed to being a violent Yakuza and how poorly he would integrate back into society. I mean, he's worked and endured his whole life for this. Just for all of it to go away? Even Kiryu during the final boss was basically like, yeah, I feel you, sucks to be you. This life was everything to him, and we see just how far he was willing to go to keep it. I mean, just look at this scene. Like, holy shit! This scene was the one that made me go, yup, he's just that guy. He is him. No way I could just watch that and not rank him this high. What a freaking badass. Everything that happens afterwards is just icing on the cake. Namely, this feeling like the actual final boss to Kiryu's story with all the hype, symbolism, and weight it carries. Though I will say what happens to Shishido at the end is quite messed up, even if he probably deserved it. As former Lord Raiden would say,
there are fates worse than death.
これから一生きっちり首ははめてやるからな。安心しろ。 西谷も一緒だから寂しくねえぞ。